Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Jurassic World Evolution 3, and today we are going to build a habitat for the beautiful Homalocephale. So let's get started. In the last video, which was also my very first episode for Jurassic World Evolution 3, we've built the entrance and the parking lot, and you guys definitely loved this video. This did so much better than the last videos I've uploaded, and we've also welcomed, I think, 60 new followers in just 2 days, which is absolutely crazy. So thank you everyone who've clicked on the last video, and also to everyone who followed me now that I'm also doing Jurassic World Evolution 3 videos. So thank you so much for the support and welcome to my channel. So now that the videos are doing much better than before, I'm also definitely more motivated to stay somewhat consistent with uploading and creating new content. So it didn't take me long to start with the very first habitat, which was like sort of a starter animal, or like the very first habitat that you'll see once you enter the zoo. So I thought to start with something relatively small, like a small herbivore, and I decided on the Homalocephale. I think this is a very cute little quirky animal. It's like walking around, it's not too slow, it's like something to look at. The babies are absolutely adorable and running around through the habitat. So I think this is a pretty nice starter animal. And I've decided to take a really like naturalistic approach for the habitat. And before that, I also did like the entrance plaza, I would say, once you've come through the entrance building and are in the actual zoo. So I decided to do another statue of the Brachiosaurus, and also to do like a little water feature, and I wanted to keep it really naturalistic, so I used a ton of rocks and I used as many plants as I could, and I am really in love with the little statue and fountain feature. You will also find this on the workshop. I will definitely upload pretty much everything that I'm going to build in Jurassic World Evolution 3. So you will find all the workshop codes down in the description of this video, so you can enter that into the workshop and download the things that I've built for yourself and for your own zoo. For the last episode and also for this one, I completely forgot to change the language of my game. In the beginning, I started in German because I actually did not really plan on making any YouTube videos, and since I was just playing campaign. But now that I am playing sandbox and making videos and content, I should change the language to English, so that the game is obviously in English. Since most of my viewers are talking English, I'm talking English in my videos, so I definitely need to change the language of the game so that I can also actually tell you what the pieces are called that I use. For example, in this little fountain, I didn't really like the color of the water, or like what's underneath the water. I changed it to this like bluish greenish color, but I still didn't like it, and then I found these little pieces from the fountain section, I believe, and they are like little stones, but you have this little water reflection on the top, and I think this looks really nice. It doesn't actually have any depth to it, so it's like really flat, but I still really like it. The reflections are really beautiful, and the floor just looks much better than this like one solid color underneath the water. So I definitely love that. Definitely a little trick to make it look a little bit more realistic. For the habitat itself, for the dinosaurs, I had a like sort of vision what I wanted to do. It was like an inspiration picture from a penguin habitat from the Burgers Zoo in the Netherlands. Once you enter the zoo, you have on the right side the habitat for the penguins, and I absolutely love that habitat, especially since it's right at the very entrance of the building. And I kind of wanted to recreate it and have like water in the front, and then like a relatively small fence, so that you can pretty much see the animals really well, and they wouldn't be able to climb the fence or whatsoever because of the water. But I just couldn't figure out the terrain tools the way I wanted to use it, since the paths are not blocking like the terrain tools, so that I can like make a like shallow water feature right next to the path without the path actually moving. Maybe I just need to do something in the settings. I haven't figured it out. Maybe if you know what to do, you can definitely tell me, because I could not figure out how to like have a really shallow water, or like to just simply put the ground down next to the path without it manipulating the height of the path itself, if you know what I mean. So I had to do it differently. I didn't do a water feature at all in the habitat, since the animals are also not swimming, and since I could not use the water as like a barrier or like a water moat. So I later tried to like somehow do like dry moat. It's not like the way I envisioned it originally, because as I said, I just was having problems with the tools, and without the path moving or being like all crooked. So I did what I could, like as best as I can. It's not like the way I wanted it to be, but I think it's still pretty nice. The animals would not be able to escape the habitat, so that's pretty much all that we need. And I still really like the habitat, but I definitely need to figure out how to do moats in the game right next to the pathing. For the background, I decided to do a relatively simple rock wall, since we have very enormous rock pieces in this game now. It is really easy to make rock walls, and I wanted to keep the habitat as naturalistic as possible, so I thought this was definitely the way to go, and to just have this little like viewing window or viewing area with the little fences in the front. I will also later decorate the little fences with some foliage so they are not too naked. And for the habitat, I decided to keep it also relatively simple. There's a little bit of a height variation in there. There will also be a like little rock platform in the middle, and other than that, I kept it really simple. I wanted to do like a little bit foresty and like grassy. I feel like the animals would definitely love this habitat. It's like not too dry, it's not too tropical, it's really fitting for the temperate biome that the zoo is also located in, so the plants are definitely suiting for the weather that we'll have in a temperate biome. I did keep the collision on for pretty much all pieces within the habitat, and the animals can still nicely walk around the habitat. The territory for this animal is like a little bit wonky. It's like not really practical. So this is definitely a sandbox zoo and not a franchise or campaign zoo. So as I said, you can download that, but I would suggest to only use it in sandbox, since it's not really fitting for the needs of the animals. The area is, I believe, a little bit too small. If they could like use the whole habitat, probably if I would have turned the collision off, then the area might be around enough or like roughly enough. But as I said, I kept the collision off just so that the animals would not clip through like the rocks and the big tree logs that I placed around. And I only turned the collision off at the pieces that are really close to the nesting area. So in the right corner in the back, I did make a little nesting area that is nicely hidden, so it's like not too obvious for the guests, and the animals can have a really quiet little hidden area to keep their babies or to keep their eggs. Foliage wise, I'm definitely still figuring out what pieces I like or what pieces to use for what. I feel like the filter options are not that great. We can also not make favorites, which I'm really missing, since it is like a little bit hard to see the pieces. I don't know if it's just me, or it's like really hard to remember which pieces I liked and which not. Also because the background is dark in the menu, so for some pieces it's like really hard to see just from the little picture on the left what the like bush or plant is actually looking like. So I feel like they maybe could change a little bit in the menu, or at least make like a favorites tab so that I have all my favorite pieces in like one tab, similar or pretty much the same as in Planet Zoo. So I'm definitely missing that feature. I hope they will add that. But other than that, the pieces definitely look really great. I hope that we will get more with like updates and DLCs, so we have more variation. But I definitely still trying to figure out. So maybe I did use quite a lot of different plants and bushes in this video, but I feel like this still looks really nice. Since we don't have any like enrichment items besides the feeders, I decided to like DIY some enrichment pieces, since I still want it to look like a zoo and not like a natural habitat where the animals would be in the wild. So I decided to do like a barrel that is hanging from a tree, where there's holes in the barrel and the animals could like push it around, and then there would be food falling out of it. And then I also found like tire pieces, so I just placed one tire down so that the animals could also like push it around, play with it. And I also placed one piece, I don't remember which one it was, I placed it upside down and lowered it into the ground, so it looks somewhat like a little tray where there would be water or food for the animals. I also made a building behind the stone wall where there would be like stalls for the animals for the night, or when one of the animals would be sick, or there's like maintenance within the habitat so that the animals would not be walking around while the maintenance guys are in there. I did not really make the building like functional, so there's nothing in there. The animals can also not walk in there. It's just like to keep somewhat of the realism. It is decorated a little bit from the outside, and since it's not really practical, nothing too crazy, I also did not film the making of it, but you could technically walk around the habitat and then find a little staff area on the outside, and then the building where the animals can be kept inside, where the food can be prepped, and so on and so forth. I did, however, kind of try to hint that there's a building on the backside of the wall, so there's like the doors where the staff can go in and out, and also a different door for the animals, and then you can see the roof a tiny bit above the rock wall. We are almost finished with the Homalocephale Habitat, and we are coming to the end of this video, so thank you so much for watching it. I hope you enjoyed this video and the way I designed this habitat. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think, and also what the next habitat should be. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button if you have not yet, so you don't miss any more Jurassic World Evolution 3 videos on my channel. Now enjoy the last cinematic shots of the habitat to see how it turned out at the very end. I hope to see you in the next episode. Until then, bye!